I'm just driving to the gym on Saturday afternoon, my last day in Poland, to do this cardio like I typically do, on the weekends. Weekends is just my cardio day. But I just wanted to talk to you about one thing that recently, I did, and I have some thoughts about it. So I recently got more shredded than ever, like straight up, way more shredded than I've ever been. And I was shredded many times, like I was shredded. I'm lean year round all the time, but not so shredded like right now. Like I got from December until mid-January, right? And I learned a couple of things from getting that lean and being that shredded. It taught me a lot of things about myself. So I wanted to share it with you guys, what I really learned. When you push yourself to this level of leanness, being lean, being shredded, you learn a lot about yourself, about your body, about your mind, about your capabilities. So I was on a diet, on the most strict diet ever in my life. I was eating 2,500 calories a day. That was my highest. And then I was eating also some days only 2,000, which is a starvation diet for someone like me, who is, extremely active, has a pretty decent muscle mass, metabolism is high. So for me, like anything below 3,500 calories is a very strict diet, and anything below 3,000 calories a day is a starvation diet, right? So I was able to commit to it for several weeks. It was actually 8 weeks in total, or like 7 or 8, I don't remember, but it was kind of tough, it was basically a challenge for me. So I had to really be more disciplined than usually, because it's actually easy to stay around 8 to 10% body fat year round. If you just train hard, you do your cardio, you can eat you can eat a lot of food, while doing that. You can eat a lot of food, you can keep your calories high if you are that active, and you just stay lean. You always have a six-pack, you're lean, but you are not stage ready lean. I wanted to get to the level that you basically feel like shit, and I got there, and it taught me a lot about what how far can I push it, how far, how strong is your my mind, but also in general human mind. You are stronger than you really think. That made me realize that you are stronger than you really think. The worst part of it was workouts were completely very, very tough, right? So that was the hardest part. That was the worst part. The worst part was to basically train hard even though I didn't have energy, and my mind was all the time no, we don't have to do it, maybe you shouldn't do it because it's not that healthy, maybe you just have to chill, maybe you just have to increase your calories or do less cardio or just don't train that hard. But yeah, actually it wasn't an option for me. It was like I just had to do what was planned no matter what. And sometimes, you know, I like at some point after several weeks of being in that kind of restriction, you know, and like getting so lean, I was like feeling even dizzy sometimes on some workouts, like at the end of some workouts. But I was still like, no, I have to finish the, you know, I have last two exercises left. I still have, you know, 15 minutes of cardio left. I still have to like do it, push it, you know. So that was tough, that was hard, and it just made me realize how mentally strong I am. Even though I was feeling like a bitch, even though the energy was so low, I was constantly thinking about food, like breaking the diet, having a cheat meal. I still didn't, you know, fall for that. I still didn't have any cheat meals. I still kept going like a pro, you know, like a pro bodybuilder. Even though I'm not a bodybuilder, even though I'm not pro, I'm not competing, and I was just doing it just for myself, just to see how far can I push it. And I'm glad I did it. I'm glad I experienced that, because it teaches you a lot also, like, about yourself, and it translates to other areas of your life as well. Because now, thanks to that, I can, like, now I know, like, you know, going through all that suffering, pain for weeks, you know, like 2 months like this, and then after 2 months I was on a reverse diet, so I was slowly increasing the calories after, so I was still basically on a deficit, but I was slowly decreasing that deficit. And it all taught me a lot about, like, how far can I go, especially like mentally, like, you know, how strong is my mind, and how you can accomplish anything you want to accomplish if you set your mind to it. So that's basically the main key takeaway, the biggest point of it, you know, not just the physique, not just the result. Yeah, I got super shredded, I like the look, even though I got like so small too, you know, but and I'm looking great. Like I like the way I look. Maybe I could just, you know, get a bit bigger, meaning a bit increase the body fat now, but just slightly, you know. So that's also nice that I can be more shredded now, you know, thanks to that suffering, that period. But the most important thing is obviously like the mind and getting the right mindset, you know, from it, and the mental effect that basically pushes me, especially in my business, you know, especially at my work, at my career, because now I'm like all the other stuff I do, you know, compared to that is easy. Like, you know, suffering for that long, like not eating, even though you have food everywhere. Like we live in, you know, in a society in like, you know, if you are in, I'm in Europe now, and I was doing that in Europe. So if you live in a first world country, and you know, you have food every fucking where, you know. So it's like it's easy to like get a lot of access to a lot of good food and just have abundance of it, you know. But yeah, I was still like like forcing myself to not fall for that, forcing myself to not eat even though I was hungry, even though the food was available, and you know, I just could cheat anytime. So that taught me that, like, that gave me that mental fortitude, that mental toughness, that relentlessness, that taught me that I can do anything, you know. I can go through pain, and even though there are some, you know, easy ways, like I can just go easy and get back to the comfort zone anytime, I'm not gonna do it, you know. Like I can stick to the plan, I can stick to what I set my mind to. So yeah, that helped me a lot with business and in general life, because now, you know, I just know I can do whatever. I can, if I really tell myself, okay, the goal is this, we have to do this and not do that in order to accomplish this goal. So and no matter how much suffering it is, how much pain it requires, how much time will it take in that suffering, in that pain, then yeah, like I can accomplish anything. And that was the main lesson, the biggest value I got from that period, you know. And the physique was just something extra, some bonus, you know, at the end of it. So I'm not telling you to do the same. You don't have to go that crazy, that extreme like me, because I got to unhealthy percentage of body fat. I got so lean that, you know, I couldn't sleep at some point. My testosterone was completely gone, like no testosterone, no libido. So yeah, I was like extremely exhausted, extremely tired after this, and that just wasn't optimal in general for like living and functioning, right? So you don't have to do anything to that extreme, but I wanted to encourage you with this video to just challenge yourself more, push yourself more, challenge yourself more than ever, because that was the biggest challenge in fitness, you know, for me. And I'm in shape for over the years, but I have never experienced something that hard when it comes to fitness, but not just fitness, like in general. It was harder than anything, you know, to get to that level. Like every day was like, fuck, you know, how am I gonna push through it? How am I gonna get through it? Like how am I gonna like do what I planned for myself to do and not die? Because literally you have even thoughts like that, you know, at that point. So obviously, not saying you have to go through all this to, like, you know, have these benefits of, you know, mental toughness and just relentlessness and just this finding out about yourself that you are capable of more than you think, and it's all in your mind. But you just have to challenge yourself more. So that's the key, that's the point of this video. Just challenge yourself more than last time, than yesterday, than last month, than last year. Just challenge yourself more, and that will build you up. That will build you up in a positive way, because that will just make you tougher. That will just show you what's possible. That will just kill all your, or at least a lot of your mental roadblocks, like your mental your limiting beliefs, your limiting beliefs. That will show you how strong you really are and how far you can really go and what you really can accomplish, because there's nothing you can't accomplish if you set your mind to it. So if you doubt yourself, if you feel like something is too hard for you, just go through it. Just challenge yourself, keep pushing, and you'll realize that actually you are stronger than this. You are stronger than you think. You are strong enough to accomplish whatever goal you want to accomplish. So yeah, just keep that in mind. I'm almost at the gym already, about to do my Saturday cardio as usually on the weekend. And yeah, hopefully this video was valuable, was helpful, and you got at least a bit motivated and a bit more like mentally stronger. I hope I gave you a little bit of my mental strength and inspiration to like do more of hard things in general, because that's what will build you up and make you better in general in anything, basically in anything. And yeah guys, like, comment, share, subscribe if you like this, and I see you in the next video. Peace.